Alex wanted to go to sleep in Mexico pissed him off. Alex wanted to take a nap when his parents came over, sent him over the edge. What is it about sleep, Tim? What happened in your childhood? Which one of your parents did not allow you to take naps? During Black Women's, vote for Kamala Harris Black Women's Month, what is going on? What in the sleep apnea is going on?
All these diamonds on my body and they crystal clear. I make magic with these hundreds, watch them disappear. Big ol' raindrops up in my ear. If you gon' name drop, let's get it clear. Jessie, VVS, I just turn the water on. Big ol' flex, shit you never saw before. These niggas chasing me like waterfalls.
What's up, guys? It's your sister. Welcome back to my Chanel. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe, so you can join the Black Women's Tribe during Black Women's Vote for Kamala Harris Black Women's Month. Vote for Kamala Harris Black Women's Month. All right, let's jump into this video. Right before we do, though, I just want to remind you guys that I did reschedule my vacation. So we are going to Tulum January. Okay, so go to wookation.net. All the information is on the screen right now, but go to the actual website to sign up, and I will see y'all in Tulum. All right, y'all, let's jump right on in. Not out, buddy. All right, so I already did a Love is Blind review for the reunion, but some of my footage got corrupted, so I wasn't able to give my thoughts on Olua, Steven, and Monica, and Tim and Alex. So I did want to dedicate a video to that because I have a lot to say. But just a quick recap. Ashley and Tyler. We find out that he told her that he was a deadbeat off camera. And so the scene where she asked Tyler, do your kids know what you look like? And he says, oh no. That was a scene that they concocted together because she says at the reunion, she wanted to be authentic. She wanted to have the conversation on camera. But at the same time that she wanted to be authentic, she wanted to protect certain aspects of his story because Tyler grew up without his father, and it's just been so hard for Tyler to navigate deadbeat fatherdom. So she wanted to protect him and construct this lie of a conversation, right? And so basically, the moment that has gone the most viral from Ashley and Tyler, where he publicly denounces knowing his children and his children knowing him and his face, was actually concocted by Ashley herself because she is so intelligent. Yeah, we often have conversations about men being deadbeats, and you even had Ashley on the show talking about growing up with her father and how her mother had to do the heavy lifting. But yet here you are helping your husband, who's a deadbeat, continue to be a deadbeat. And to be honest, the more and more I think about what I watched, the more and more I am totally convinced that Ashley gave Tyler the keep them away from me talk. It's either me or them. She did not, in fact, do her research. I don't believe that she actually went to Bri and asked Bri all the questions, because had she, Bri could provide her all the receipts. She just took what Tyler said because she wanted to be married. And today, I was on TikTok and I saw that Storytime with Ricky actually went live with Bri's mother. So she's the grandmother to the children.
From your understanding, Ashley knows that he is absent and is okay with it.
From my understanding, he has told his friends, Ashley knows everything. She just don't want it thrown in her face. So you're throwing your kids away for this woman. I hope she makes you happy, and I hope she stays with you. I feel Tyler's gonna get what's coming to him. He's gonna get it back 10 times. Ashley I hope she busts his heart wide open. Like, you don't do that to these kids.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah. And they still ask about him to this day.
They still ask about him.
Because the kids are old enough to know who their dad is.
Yes. Especially, he say his mini me, my grandson. He first haircut, potty training, walking, talking, doing whatever. Like, he has been there. I just don't understand how he can totally, like, I just cannot understand how he can totally turn his back on his kids like that.
So apparently, like I said before, there has been contact made, and basically Ashley doesn't want it thrown in her face. The grandma did go on to say several things, but I need more context before I just post that on here. But yeah, basically Ashley knows. Ashley knows that Tyler's a deadbeat. And she's gonna stick beside him. I can't support somebody like that. Like, I think it's really horrible. Like, especially Ashley, you coming on the show talking about your father, you know, so much so that your father's on TikTok fighting for his life. Had to come forward and tell us that he didn't know about you and Tyler and all these 3 kids until October 11th. And then, you know, he's telling us that he wasn't a deadbeat, that he was in jail for a couple years. Well, for 13 years, but he did pay his child support. Like, for you to talk about not wanting to marry a man like your father, but then ending up with a man that's actually worse. And for what? And just to have a ring, just to be married? Anyway, I hope Ashley has to pay all of Tyler's debt. Like, I hope that you gotta pay it all. She gonna pay it all. Child support and ain't all. And ain't all. Pay it all. The child support, the judgments from the other girls. I hope everybody that Tyler has ever swindled takes both of y'all for what y'all got. Because that's diabolical. Sorry. That is diabolical. Can't support that. We had, during the reunion, we saw Ramsay's and Marissa unfold, and we find out that Marissa was still fucking Ramsay's. And you know what's crazy about it too? I don't think I said this in my review. Because I was like, damn, they're really cooking Nick. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I do feel like Nick was fake. I said that in a couple of my reviews. But that doesn't negate how disgusting Hannah was to him. Yes, Hannah was honest and he was fake. But why are we cooking him longer than Brian McLight? Like, why are we cooking Nick for wanting to be famous more than Brian McLight? It's not adding up for me. Brian McLight has 3 children that he's calling those kids on this television show. And by the time this was filmed, everybody, the world knew that Tyler was very involved in those kids' lives because there was pictures, there were Facebook posts, there were videos. All the production knew. The fact that Nick and Vanessa Latte did not have them 3 kids front row, did not have the baby mama in the back, didn't have a grandma in the back, ready to come out. But y'all are cooking, like, y'all was deep frying Nick during Black Women's, Vote for Kamala Harris Black Women's Month. Y'all was deep frying Nick more than Brian McLight. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense to me. I'm sorry. And then you have Marissa cooking Nick more than she cooked 2 dreads. Like, are you for real? So many of y'all, let me tell you something. Because y'all still in the comments, oh, but Hannah was being abusive to Nick at the reunion. I don't give a fuck what y'all gotta say. I'm going to stand 10 toes down in my point of views. I always do. I always will. Because I be right every damn time. Every damn time I be right. Y'all dragged me. Even on Threads, I was getting dragged for this, or on TikTok, because I said I did not feel bad for Marissa. I think that 2 dreads definitely gaslit her. I do. But I also feel that Marissa was being a bonehead. Marissa got that hard dick, them hard noodles, and them hard nose and did not know what to do. And then some of y'all were saying, oh, she's young, she's young. Marissa is in her 30s. Yes, 30s is young. But no, she's too old to be that stupid. Like, you were still giving this man that raw coochie after this man hurt you like this? Yeah, you need therapy. You had no business being on that show. You need therapy. You need to figure out why you don't have boundaries for yourself. Period.
Surprise to you when you learned that you were not going to Mexico?
No, honestly, I knew. I really, truly knew. We were the weakest link. I never told him I loved him.
It's Marshall for me. I mean that's real. You know, you had Brittany, who looked like she was fresh off of a Diddy party, Diddy freak off. Then you got Leo, who came. I didn't really see the Rolex, but you know, they did talk about how they weren't chosen. And honestly, the reasoning that she gives, as well as the reasoning that Chris Colleen gives, which to me, I feel like they've all been coached. They were both coached to say this anyway. But the reasoning does make sense if it is a logical show. Love is Blind is not a logical show. So for me, giving us Leo and Brittany, who turned out to be such a big conversational piece, only to not follow them to Mexico was pretty wild. And then realizing that her and Leo went to Mexico, not Mexico, they went to Miami, and you know, they went to Miami and they hung out a lot with her homegirl that was down there. Brittany just used Leo for a free trip to Miami, okay? She talked about how she hated that he would drink her drink and eat off her plate or whatever. She hated that. Girl, if a girl is annoyed by you doing that, she don't like you. She doesn't like you. She doesn't like you. She don't like you. She didn't like that man, okay? She took one look at that man. She didn't like him. Point blank, period. All right. Let's get into Olua Steven. Olua Steven. Because this, to me, you know what the thing is with this season? There's a commonality with all of these men. These men are like pathological liars. All of them in their own way. With two dreads, you have him trying to convince us that, you know, I didn't, her energy, and sir, you should have been honest. You should have been honest. Once you got the coochie, you were done. Point blank, period. You got the raw coochie, you were done. Point blank, period. Tyler, the Procreator, Brian McLight, I don't gotta go too deep into that. We know that he's a pathological liar, okay? But Olua Steven, to me, the thing that is so interesting with Olua Steven, he has a motor mouth like Hannah. Like, he will talk. And like, if you listen to him long enough, he's gonna tell you the truth. Just like how Nick was lying too. Nick is a pathological liar too. Y'all don't want to admit it because he wasn't mean to Hannah on camera. But even him, the way he kept trying to lie about calling her a grenade, and then finally, after everybody beat him up about it, and then you have two dreads coming in, he finally had to admit that he did say it, right? So let's go into Olua Steven, who also is a pathological liar.
Alex, no, this is not you.
Oh, okay.
My man Steven.
Hey-o.
Hey.
Sir Sleep a Lot. Hey.
What's up?
Sir?
Look at how red he is in the face. Look at how red he is in the face. Side note, before we get into all this too, I didn't want to put this on here because I was kind of annoyed. Tim, the whole breakdown that you gave of Leo and why he's such a good man and all these things, that was very questionable. You know what? I'm going to go back to that. But let's continue with Olua Steven.
Sleep a lot.
I think we are all dying to know what exactly was in those sleep test results.
In the sleep test results?
Yeah.
I have sleep apnea.
Are you on the CPAP?
No, I got cleared for one, but unfortunately
Steven, tell us what was in the text.
Thank you, Nancy, for actually asking the questions that matter, because we do not give a fuck about the sleep test. Y'all ever seen those memes where people be like, they be taking their iPhone cords, putting it in their nose and acting like they in the hospital? Those pictures of Olua Steven in that makeshift whatever, wherever he was at, I don't care. I don't believe for 1 second that he was at a sleep test. Period.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know they're pretty juicy. I don't remember. I really don't. I deleted them.
So during a sleep...
That's a lie. That's a lie. And remember, even when Monica confronted him in real time about those text messages, he lied about knowing what was in the text messages or remembering what was in the text messages too, because he deleted it then. So a year later, you're still lying. You're still lying.
Sleep study test. There were DMs set. Let's get to the thick of this here.
For the respect of the individual, I'm not going to go too deep into it because they don't need to be brought into.
Well, you shouldn't have done it on a reality show.
You're absolutely right.
Period. What are we talking about? This has nothing to do with this has nothing to do with the individual and everything to do with that. You're full of shit. Point blank. Period.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, that ship has sailed.
I take full
You
responsibility
respect
for
that individual, but you certainly didn't have respect for me in that moment.
Period. Period, Monica. Monica, oh Monica. Period, Monica. Period. One thing about Monica, she gonna whack you. She gonna whack you. Period.
That's right. I take full responsibility for my fuck up. Me and Monica even talked about this off camera. We had a date 2 weeks after we talked about it too, to sort of
It wasn't
handle
a
the
date.
situation.
We went to dinner.
Well, sorry, we met up for dinner. I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. We met up for dinner. We talked about this. I even wrote a letter to her parents apologizing for my actions.
But did you write that letter so you could say that to everyone today?
No, I wrote that.
Wow, really?
No.
Like, the more he talks, when you go back to the episode where she was like, damn, like, can you please shut up? I can't get a word in. The thing about Olua Steven is he's always trying to position himself like he's this good man. Brian McLight is doing the same thing. Olua Steven, Brian McLight, same thing. They have to position themselves like they're these great human beings, you know, and it's like, no, it's all for show. It is all for show. You're actually a shit person.
I wrote that letter because I feel bad about the situation.
No, you wrote that letter because you knew that we was going to talk about it at reunion because you bring it up.
It's like as soon as you had
Yeah.
the chance to. As soon as I got that letter, I was like, he's doing this so he can say it at the reunion.
Yep.
I apologize. That wasn't my intention, but if that's how it came off, I do apologize.
Stop apologizing. You ain't sorry.
I mean, at the end of the day,
Stop.
if you can't trust me, then there's nothing that I can say that'll change anybody's mind. So nobody's really wanted to listen to me from the beginning.
I want to hear it.
So I understand that. I'd love to tell it, but to be honest, I don't think anybody believes me, wants to hear. So at the end of the day, why should I? Nobody wants to believe me. Nobody cares about my side of the story. I acknowledge 100% that I messed up. I've done everything.
Aww. Nobody cares about me. Nobody believes me. It's a classic victim move. It's not that nobody cares or nobody believes you. It's that, Olua Steven, we know that you're fucking lying. We want you to stop with the bullshit and tell the truth. Tell the truth. When people feel like you are bullshitting them, they don't want to hear it. So that's what you're seeing from everybody. You're a bullshitter. They don't want to hear that. They want you to be honest about that night. You did not go to a sleeper's text. You did not go get your sleep tested. You went to go cheat, okay? Monica told you that she was not going to let you plug her booty hole. She said, listen, I understand you have a very healthy sexual appetite, okay? And so do I. However, my booty hole is not for entry. My booty hole is not for entry. And immediately upon Monica giving you her non-entry policy, you went to go follow and chase the rivers and the lakes and the booty holes that you're used to chasing. Okay? Olua Steven. Yeah. Meanwhile, Olua Steven showed up looking very West African. One thing about a West African, they gonna have a velvet jacket, bitch. They gonna have a velvet blazer, bitch. They is gonna have a velvet blazer, okay? Very West African. But yeah, your West African ancestry came through with the cheating, okay? We want to hear the truth, nigga. Well, you're not a nigga. You, what's his percentage again? What is it? What, 0.5? You point 0.0005 or some shit. We want to hear the truth, wigga, okay? The fuck?
Anything that I thought I could do, I talked to my parents. I asked them what I should do.
We don't care
what I'm supposed to do. I've read books. I go to therapy. I do all these things.
You be therapizing the therapist.
No, because if they did, we wouldn't be here right now having more accusations about something that we squashed a year ago.
It's not more accusations, baby. This is a reunion, okay? Every reality show has a reunion. Most reality shows that have an ensemble cast like this, you're going to have a what? A reunion. Usually happens months after the season is shot and people come and whatever grievances they may have, whatever thoughts they may have, they come and this is their time to recommemorate what happened during filming, okay? Shut your ass up and get to the motherfucking text.
Somebody texted me and they were talking about a heart condition. And then immediately after that, they go into, so I've gotten into some interesting fetishes lately. Understanding that this is probably a reaction or a conversation that I should not entertain, I was still curious how you made this jump. So I said, what kind of fetishes?
And you did this while you were engaged. Mind you, Olua Steven, you the same motherfucker who was in the pods talking about how you had emotionally cheated earlier in an earlier relationship. And Monica, this is where I gotta come whack you. Because when he talked about being a cheater then, what did you do? You consoled him. Hey! O consolei. It's okay. Oh, I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. Oh, so sorry. You were apologizing to the cheater for cheating. Okay? All right? So what did Olua Steven do? Olua Steven told you who he was. And then in the experience, he showed you who he was. He had already told you. So really, he showed up as himself. Okay? All right? That's why when the Olua Stevens of the world show us who they are, we have to dead that. Because they're going to do it to us. They're going to do it to us. Okay?
We have a picture. He was at a sleep study, so that part is true.
Yeah.
Why is it blinds back there? I don't know. I feel like Olua Steven be having this picture ready to go. Maybe he's gone to a sleep study before, kept the picture, and now whenever he's out cheating, he has this picture just ready to go. Now that this picture has been publicized, he probably got to take another one. For the new bitches, okay? But that man was not at no sleep test. That man went to go chase rivers and lakes and booty holes that he was used to chasing. Point blank, period. Isn't it funny how when Monica confronted him about the text messages, he didn't remember, he didn't recall, he deleted the text messages. And even now, earlier, he's like, I forgot what they said, I deleted them. Now, all of a sudden, he's able to recall word for word, bar for bar, what the text messages were. Now he's able to recall that the text messages were all about a fetish. One thing about liars, they can't help but continue to lie. And if you really just take the time and listen to them, let them hang themselves. Let them hang themselves, because they will. All right, let's move on to Tim.
From sleep tests
Hey-o.
to sleeping while the in-laws are in town.
Oh, that transition.
That's such a corny ass transition. Like, I can't tell you enough just how corny this reunion was. The corny ass transition, like, it just didn't land. It didn't land. It didn't land. And it's just not a funny subject. But let's go ahead.
That landed her in the doghouse.
Woof, woof, baby.
Well,
Before we talk about Alex landing into the doghouse, I want to go backwards in the reunion where you see Tim talking about Leo.
but you guys, in talking with Leo, what was your takeaway from every time he would come in, whether it was trying on his Rolex or just hearing his stories? You're laughing, Tim.
Yeah, I'll talk, man. Leo's a misunderstood guy. He really is. He's a high level thinker.
That awkward look that Alex has is me watching this, because I'm just like, as I was watching this, I'm like, damn, this man has so many things to say about Leo.
And he processes out loud. The problem is that can get you in trouble sometimes, especially in a medium like this. Leo has a good heart, man. He's, again, high-minded. He knows his shit on a lot of levels. He's super creative. Man, some of the bars, y'all got a taste of it. But
Yeah.
If you watch the reunion, you know, like, Tim is literally on there for like a good 3 minutes, praising and sucking Leo's penis figuratively for a good like 3 minutes, right? Like, and it's like, baby, I thought it was weird, but then when we got to the Alex portion, I'm like, damn, you just gave this man a whole lot of dick sucking. I'm expecting for you to give Alex the same energy. Like, I'm expecting for you to give Alex the same grace. Because you're giving this man a lot. You are giving this man a lot. That was very weird to me. Very weird to me. But let's go ahead and go into Tim and Alex.
What you didn't get to see was a verbal disagreement. As you saw, I'm very close to my family. And my dad had been admitted to a rehab facility a week before I left. And
let me pause right here. Remember, Alex has 2 parents that have MS. When they were in the pods and Tim kept talking about his dead sisters, Alex mentioned having 2 parents who both have MS. She talked about the fact that her dad has a better situation than her mother because her dad is married to a very caring woman. Meanwhile, when her health took a turn, when her mother's health took a turn, her mother's husband left her. Okay? So Alex is dealing with 2 sickly parents. Also, a lot of you talked about her apartment, how disgusting it was. And it was. Alex, your apartment was disgusting. I would have just never allowed them to film it. Tim released some text messages that showed that Alex said that she cleaned up a little bit before they came to film. Girl, no. I would have never allowed that. But when I was reviewing that episode, I said she's a hoarder. And also, just so you know, hoarding is a very clear sign of depression. Now, I don't want to speak that over Alex, but I think during that time, that was a clear sign of depression. That apartment did not look like somebody who was just looking for a couple outfits to go out of town to go film. Like the living room, the garbage bags. That apartment looked like devastation. And I'm not trying to be funny when I'm saying that. That apartment looked like someone who is devastated. Okay? So I saw a lot of y'all talking about that. I'm just like, damn, the girl mentioned having 2 parents who are very sickly. So anyway, let's just keep that in mind as we go forward.
3 weeks not talking to them, it just kind of weighed in on me at that moment. And I just wanted space. Go to bed, take a shower, go to bed. That's literally all I wanted to do. But unfortunately, I wasn't given the space that I was wanting, which turned into a disagreement. Simple as that.
Tim, first and foremost, like, I don't want it to come across like there's any actual animosity here. Like, I still wish her the best. I mean, there's a reason I fell in love with this woman. And I acknowledge all the beautiful things about that. My version of events, she had left before me, the pool party, so I'm trying to catch her, but I could tell she's upset. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is my fiance. I want to be there for her. So I approach her, I'm saying, hey, are you okay? What's going on? We're in this hotel bathroom. Everything's been good to this point for me. And you're crying on the floor, so I'm trying to be there for you. I understood that she was upset about something with her family, but I'm also trying to understand because at the same time, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So it quickly turns contentious, and it got to the point where, yes, I did feel like things got out of hand from a boundary standpoint.
If you go back to when I reviewed that episode and you look at the comments, so many of y'all came for me in those comments. Because I was like, wait a minute. When they were going over what happened in Mexico, to me, it looked like there was anger on both sides, right? Like, you have her who wanted her space, and because she said she wanted her space, then you had him who was like, well, I want my space. It gave tit for tat. I said that in that review. Tim gives me tit for tat. It's like, oh, so you don't want to talk to me? Oh, well, you know what? Now I'm going to make sure that I don't talk to you when you want to talk to me. It gave very tit for tat. And at the time, too, you had Alex who said she put her hand over her mouth. And so many of y'all were also in my comments then saying how violent she was. She's violent. I've seen people say she mushed her face. She mushed his face. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. As someone who's in a relationship, I had not done that to my man, but I can see us getting into a heated conversation somewhere and me just being like, okay, baby, just hold on. Just hold on. And I don't see that as being violent. And I said that then. And oh no, she hit him. Y'all were literally saying that she hit him. Let's continue.
To where, yes, what happened with the hand being put over my mouth was put over my mouth. Yes, I was called something other than the name that I was given on this earth. I know
What was the name? Because I told y'all. I said she called him a bitch. I said Alex done called that man a bitch. And the only bitches he acknowledges are his dogs. She called that man a bitch. Let's continue.
The medium that I'm on. I know that I'm a 225, 6-foot black man. I don't want to get portrayed as this angry person to where we are fighting and squabbling it out on camera and understanding there's producers outside the door, etc., etc. But also, if I'm talking to someone I love, y'all hear it in my voice right now. I can't be quiet. Ask me if I'm not here to, I won't force my opinion on anybody, but don't ask me what I think unless you want to know.
Tim doesn't always get it right, but I want to say that the moment where he's talking about being over 6 feet and over 200 pounds as a black man, I understand that. Like, I understand that. And I don't think that people understand, people who are not in his position or haven't filmed a show like this, I don't think people understand how, let's say, he had a moment of being passionate, right? How that can be misconstrued. And had this, whatever this was, had that been shown to the public, how things could have really went left for Tim. Because things have already gone left, but how things could have went 10 times left for Tim. Because y'all are already calling him an abuser. And he did not lay hands on her. She covered his mouth. She didn't do it viciously, though. But he never laid hands on her. Okay? By both of their accounts, he's never yelled at her. I think that Tim can come off aggressive, yes. But I think that while y'all are criticizing Tim, let's not be oblivious to the fact that he is having to deal with black male tropes, okay? And I think that that can be very hurtful to him. Y'all might not give a fuck, but I'm just saying.
Whatever partner I have in this world, I'm hoping that they understand that about me. I took everything with this process and how I felt about her so seriously from the jump. And I don't want it to come across because things ended how it did. There wasn't something beautiful about what connected us. I hate the fact that our worst moment is the moment everybody wants to hear about the most.
I will say,
Where are her flowers, Tim? Tim, you gave Leo a lot of flowers. Where are Alex's flowers? You gave Leo a lot of flowers. Where are Alex's flowers? You see the optics don't look good for you.
To unravel.
Vanessa, get to the point.
If I saw the look on Nick's face that you had the day in Cabo, I would have thought he checked out.
People say, okay, I'm checked out. I'm trying to process, okay, the person that I have been and am being clearly is a work. I've never been in an argument like that with somebody I consider myself loving ever in my life.
I don't believe that. Don't believe that. Your mom herself said that you check out. That you check out. And from what it looks like is basically, because your mom explained it too, when you're not getting your way, you check out. You check out. Okay? So you might not think it's an argument because you've checked out. Okay? But you've had the back and forth and you checked out. Okay? You don't know how to handle communication, especially when it's not going exactly the way you want it to go.
So let me figure out what it is that my now fiance needs out of me, the version of me that she needs, because I am trying to make this work.
I just want to make it very clear. Nothing on my end was physically assaulting him. And
yeah, I'll
he can
attest.
agree with that.
I'll attest.
I'm literally put in a position where I'm trying to prevent production to come and see this fight, like this argument that we're having. And I don't want it to look like we're in a bad space, or that I don't want cameras to come and make him look bad. Simple as that. I was trying to protect him.
So So back to the black male tropes, right? When Tim was saying, I'm 6 foot, I'm over 6 foot, I'm over 200 pounds, I'm a black guy, right? I'm a black man. He's alluding to just how in his mind, he was trying to be very cautious about, how he could come off when they were having a disagreement. Then you also have Alex, who was trying to protect him as well, because she's very well aware that he is a black man, over 6 feet, over 200 pounds. Okay? So when she says, I was trying to protect him, I believe that. So when she covered his mouth, there was nothing violent about it. He agreed to it. That was her protecting him. Y'all owe that girl an apology. And to be honest, so does he. Because, especially now that I'm re-listening to it again, the way, because she acknowledged that she put her hand over his mouth, but the way he took that, me as a viewer, I'm like, okay, what like, even I was questioning it in my mind. I never questioned it on my reviews, but even I'm like, okay, well, did she slap this nigga? She was protecting you. She was protecting you. Okay? She was protecting you. And the fact that you've never really acknowledged that, you didn't acknowledge that then, and still now you're not acknowledging that, no, sir.
I just wanted to de-escalate this entire situation so that...
And you're shaking your head like you're fuming. You're fuming. Mind you, you started off with, I don't want to make it seem like there's any animosity. Yes, there is a lot of animosity, and it's coming from you, Tim. It's coming from you. Mind you, I asked him to come on my channel because I wanted to give him a space to I wanted to ask him a lot of different questions, but also I wanted to give him a space to just share his experience in totality, because I feel like even though we had this reunion, there's still so many aspects of this couple that we just never got to see. We never, it's so many, I still have so many questions, you know what I mean? But watching this reunion, it's a year later, sir. Why are you still crashing out like this? Why are you still fuming?
We could just go to sleep and revisit it in the morning. But now it's turned into an assault thing, which it wasn't.
Well, clearly, if you did, he would say, you guys have
clear for everyone watching, there was no assault.
Yeah.
It wasn't assault, but I reject you saying that I yelled at you. My voice carries. I was asking you what's going on.
Production had to come in and calm you down. Your voice, you were very upset.
They had to come in. I was upset
You were
after
yelling.
you touched me.
You were yelling. You were yelling. Listen, would you be upset if somebody put their hands on your mouth? Don't change your opinion now, because a lot of y'all said you would. Okay? So would you be loud after that? I think a lot of y'all would. But still, you're not acknowledging that she was trying to protect you. I'm gonna need you to acknowledge that, Tim.
I was more offended at being called outside of my name.
What did you call him other than his
name? A bitch.
Well, because he was disrespecting me for like over an hour. I said, you're acting like a little ass bitch. And
That's crazy.
I'm not taking it anymore.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's just how I felt.
It's crazy that why would you say that to any grown man out here trying to love you?
And it was crazy how you belittled me the way that you did.
Y'all asked men to take you seriously, and why would you belittle me?
So why are you got your...
Tim. It's giving red pill. It's giving red pill. The girl told you she needed a moment. She's dealing with 2 sickly parents. She was on the floor crying. I get it, right? But why are you making this moment about you? The fact that you made a moment of her breaking down about you, you know what that is? That is emotional abuse. And sometimes we don't, you're probably not going out of your way to be emotionally abusive, but that was emotionally abusive. Because now you weaponized her emotions and made it all about her belittling you. You know what I mean? Now, granted, should she have called you a little ass bitch? Were you acting like a little ass bitch, Tim? It seems like you was acting like a little ass bitch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is coming from somebody, literally my boyfriend from 6 years ago. I've told this story before. One of our very last conversations was me saying, you're acting like a little girl. That shit there was no recovering after that. And two, you know what? And this is not me like trying to whack Alex, but girl, after calling someone a little ass bitch, I don't want to marry them. Like, after I called that man that, I knew things were over. Now, was I sad and all that? Yeah, but I knew it was done. Like, the relationship was done. There was nothing afterwards. Once I cross that line with you as a man and I call you a bitch, because you are a bitch, there's nothing. There is nothing else. There's nothing else.
Your finger in my face and yelling at me because I don't want to talk to you because I'm upset about my father. Had nothing to do with you at all. I literally just wanted to take a shower and go to bed, and that wasn't good enough.
And you didn't say that once.
It's never good enough. It's always what you want. But when you want space, it's okay. But when I wanted space, it wasn't good enough, right?
So basically, Tim was mad that Alex wanted to go to sleep then. Now, Alex, I gotta whack you because this man don't like you going to sleep. I'm sorry, but I just made that connection. So Tim was mad that Alex wanted to go to sleep in Mexico. Okay? And then the straw that broke the camel's back was Alex taking a nap. This motherfucker don't want you sleeping, bitch. Get your ass the fuck up. There is no sleeping. Tim wants a bitch that's alert at all times. He wants you to be awake at all times. Stay woke. Do, 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 do. He wants a woke woman. He don't want no woman there sleeping? Bitch, you going to sleep for what? You taking naps for what? Tim is diabolical. I can't.
Right? Let's remember that. It's always on your terms, Tim. Never mind.
She's right. She's right about that.
Never get a word in.
You
just talk for like 10 minutes in circles. You literally are so long-winded and only listen to yourself.
Hey, I'm literally being berated here. I'm just trying to speak my truth. So I can't speak my truth without apparently yelling at you and get called a bitch. Come on, man.
Don't try to spin it like somebody's trying to make you like that, because I tried to protect you throughout our entire relationship, which is why you look amazing.
Like, why are you trying to come for me when all I'm doing is showing you love? Why the attitude?
No, Tim. Tim. Go ahead and get in them therapy classes. And don't try to therapize the therapist. Go get therapy, baby. You do not have self-awareness. You do not have self-awareness. And then, but I'm trying to love you. Nah. You're angry. You are angry over Alex going to sleep. Something about Alex going to sleep angering you. There's something about Alex going to sleep that angered Tim. And I need to know what that is. Alex wanting to go to sleep in Mexico pissed him off. Alex wanted to take a nap when his parents came over, sent him over the edge. What is it about sleep, Tim? What happened in your childhood? Which one of your parents did not allow you to take naps? Come on now. We gotta get down to the bottom of this, black man. Okay, we gotta get to the bottom. There are Black Women's Vote for Kamala Harris Black Women's Month. What is going on? What in the sleep apnea is going on? Maybe you need to be the one down to the sleep test. What is going on?
Why? What did I do? What did I do to you?
Okay.
Well, look, I think it's safe to say that you felt disrespected in that moment. And I think another moment we all saw where you felt disrespected is when you took a nap when his parents came to visit. Looking back on that, why did you decide to take a nap, knowing his parents had driven all that way to see and spend time with you? And do you regret maybe some of the ways you handled that day?
So what unfortunately wasn't shown is I work so much.
What is going on with you? Come on now.
I work in fashion, I bartend, and that night I had to bartend for the first time. We were with his parents at like 11 a.m. until about 6, 7 p.m. And I had to work at 9 p.m. at the bar till 3 a.m. And I simply wanted a nap after we had lunch. We talked for like 4 or 5 hours. And I literally just wanted 1 hour nap before I go into work.
So Tim, you were aware of all this and you were upset that she took a nap. See, and a lot of y'all were upset that she took that nap too. Come forward. All of y'all who were dragging Alex over that fucking nap. Yeah, but she ain't give no effort. She ain't. Please. I saw so many folks with huge platforms dragging her for that nap. Like, y'all don't be getting sleepy. Like, after talking to people for 4 hours. Bruh, I remember watching that episode with Mr. Easter, and he was like, ooh, Tim would hate to see you coming. The way I nap, oh my God, I could never be in a relationship with Tim. This man hates sleep. He hates sleepy ass bitches. I am a sleepy ass bitch.
That's all it was. It was the only time that I actually bartended during our entire relationship.
Okay. Well, Tim, I know I speak for a lot of us who watched on this stage when I say that one of the most touching moments in the entire season was watching you ask Alex's father for his blessing. And a lot of us are also having a hard time understanding how you did that, but then called it quits a few days later.
The engagement ended because I felt like the level of respect that I was given wasn't being given in return. Every day in this process feels like a week. What we bonded over most was how much we love our family. The entire time we met, she wanted me to show her father some respect and love, and I wanted to respect and love my fiance. So she asked me, and I showed up for her family.
You did.
Because I thought this was going to be my family. I was trying to give this my all because I loved this woman. And I meant that. I felt like when it was my turn, it wasn't returned. And she said she has to work, which is fine. I get it. Everybody makes a living. She didn't mention that she was in the club till 4 a.m. the night before. She didn't mention that the day after that, she didn't text me till 10 a.m. And the day I tried to warn her about her flat tire, she called a flat tire, even though I tried to tell her about her prior tire pressure. I'm trying to show love all day. And you wait until the afternoon to try to speak to me. When you say we always have to talk on your terms, I've been waiting all day to hear from you. You didn't even let me know you made it home. And you're supposed to be my fiance. So I'm not even worried about accountability. I'm just worried about your safety.
Okay, Alex, you were, while he was talking, shaking your head, looking over.
There's just so many things that have been said that are bold-faced lies. First off, the first thing he said, I was not out the night before. We went to dinner at Mi Vida the night before. And then
Before we met your dad, you were in the club
No,
till 4
before I met your parents. Before I met your parents, we went to dinner, which is what you were just speaking of.
So there was one night where she was out all night, but still, she's saying right before she met your parents, no. Y'all went to dinner. It was that day, the day before she met his parents, they met her parents. And after they met her parents, they went out to dinner that night at Mi Vida. So that's what she's saying. The club, that was 2 nights before.
And he said I just showed up like nothing. So
The night before we met your dad?
Can I speak?
You're saying I'm lying and making something up.
Can I speak?
Baby, Alex, Tim, you would have been better off just not saying nothing. Because, like, it's just you're fuming. And you have to be able to let her speak. Now I see why you don't like to communicate. You just want to hear yourself.
Lying and making something up.
Can I speak? Thank you.
Thank you.
When we went to meet your family, we went to dinner before that. And if you see that I look a little upset, it's because I was. The night before, when we went to dinner, which was the same day that he met my family, I was asking him, how do you feel? Where's your head at? You know, I'm so thankful you read that beautiful letter to my dad. It was a very emotional day, you know, all the things. And he answered that he had doubts. And I just was kind of taken back because I'm just like, how do you do that whole performance and then say, I have doubts? My dad shook your hand and said, I accept you as my son. And 3 hours later, you say, I have doubts. Why? And then a day after that, we're ending an engagement. Why even get him involved? You know how much that meant to me. You already had these doubts. And if you had these doubts, why did we meet my family? That's what I had an issue with. And to sit here and try to be like, oh, I have so much respect for you, but you broke up with me because of allegedly a nap or I didn't do the dishes. The hate that you projected onto me on that breakup was mind-blowing. It's like I killed your dog. It felt like this was a situation for you to have it out and you took it and ran with it. So what was this relationship real? Like, do you have respect for me? Because I don't feel like you do.
First of all, you wonder why I don't talk to you, but you sit here and call me a bitch to my face.
You laugh at everything that she says. Oh my God. You literally have been laughing at everything she says. That's disrespectful. You have no room to call her disrespectful.
Because she's not.
Sorry.
She is telling. Look, I get it. This is your version of the truth, but I feel very attacked. Where it's like you're saying that I didn't do something honestly when, again, this entire time you were asking me to do everything I can for your family. So I did it. And I don't feel like I was getting anything in return. That entire week, I am telling you, hey, can we work on this? Hey, can we work on this? Can we work on this? We can work on this. And I felt like I was getting nothing in return.
Why would I
were
want
still
to be
doing
your
work
parents when you just told me you had doubts after you played in my dad's face?
How did I play in his face?
You played in his face.
What was the joke about
you wanted
that?
to be with me and you had doubts the entire time. That was a bold-faced lie.
And then you fell asleep
Is it safe
on my
to say,
parents.
I'm sorry, I'm going to do this to save both y'all?
They don't get anywhere, but I did want to let that play out because a couple things. I'm Team Alex. I've always been Team Alex. However, I do feel that Tim really showed up for her parents. Like, let's just give Tim his flowers there. We have never seen a man on this show cook a 3-course meal for an entire family. Okay? Tim had the uncle slippers on, the uncle sandals, 3000s. The brown sandals with the holes in them. That motherfucker was grilling, cooking, frying, baking. Like, Tim really showed up for your parents, Alex. Let's give him that. And even in meeting your parents and he cooked all that food, you sat there and you were like, so are you going to fix the plates? You know, he fixed the plates. The thing with Alex to me is Alex has a very nonchalant personality. It just kind of gives nonchalant. And I think that Tim needs chalanting. Alex doesn't have that. All right? She's very gone with the wind. Okay? If I were him, I would be pissed off if you didn't do the dishes too. I would have. Would I end an engagement? No. But I would be pissed off at that. Because like, it's damn. Like, girl, I just cooked all this food for your family. The least you could do is do these dishes, please. Can you please do these dishes for me? I did all this for your family. That's the thing too with Tim. Tim, you have to know how to communicate. You're not supposed to just hold on to things. You have to communicate these things. Like, one thing I'm very thankful for in my relationship is that from the jump, this man has gone out of his way to communicate with me. And y'all be getting mad when y'all be watching me on live when he calls me. We both do that to each other. We calling each other all day. We texting all day. Like, he from the beginning has gone out of his way to communicate with me. And communicating is not just talking to each other. It's understanding. From the beginning, there are things that my man showed me immediately that he knew about me. Like, immediately. Just from paying attention to me, watching me, seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like, seeing my different expressions. Like, that's a relationship. That's how you have a relationship with someone. When they fall short, babe, hey, I didn't like that. Hey, I didn't like that. Or, you know what? Can you do this instead? I actually prefer this. You have no communication skills. Alex or your future wife cannot read your mind, Tim. Cannot read your mind. Okay? So if something is upsetting you, you have to know how to communicate that and not talk down to the person, not beat them down, but talk about it, speak about it. You need communication skills. You need that badly. Your mother said it. Your mother said you shut down, that you go away or escape. I forgot the word that she used, but you escape. Okay? You have no communication skills. They're horrible. And then I agree with Alex to a certain extent about him proposing to her father. Here's the thing. Alex said this in the breakup scene. She said, hey, I told you from the get-go that I would take this experience to the end. I would take this experiment seriously to the end. Now, do y'all think Alex would have got down to the altar and said yes to Tim? I don't think so. I do not think so. I think if Tim didn't break up with her, she would have broke up with him. This was not going anywhere. It never gave romance. It never gave I love you. It never gave lovey-dovey, I enjoy you. This shit gave two siblings that are toddlers that hate each other. That's what it gave. Both of y'all gave that with each other. But I think that Tim proposing to Alex's father was him seeing the experiment through too. We've seen these contracts. We've seen like part of the experiment is to meet the person's parents, right? But we've also seen couples who didn't go through with it, right? But also per the contract, if production tells you that they want you to go somewhere and do something and you don't do it, then you're liable for damages. So I don't know whether this was an issue with where production told him he had to do this or else, or if this was him purely, right? But regardless, I think just in general, proposing to somebody and then asking their parents for their hand in marriage, knowing that you have doubts, is not a good thing. It's not a good thing. Point blank period. It's not. It's not good in Love is Blind, which makes this show diabolical, to be honest. But it's not good in the structure. It's not good in the real world. Point blank period. Last thing was when Alex talked about the hate that Tim gave her in the breakup. So many of you were supportive of that. So many of you were supportive of that. I wasn't. Like, he was so harsh to her. And even if he was correct with his feelings, right? There's still a way as a man, you just don't talk to a woman. And I remember seeing people online, women online, siding with him with the way he broke up with her. It's like, you can break up with her, but like, the vitriol that came out of his mouth, it was so harsh. It was so disgusting. That's not how you talk to a woman. Point blank, period. Some of y'all be showing y'all asses when these shows be coming on and showing who y'all side with. It gives me a glimpse of what y'all are going through. Like, a lot of y'all are just accepting, like, no way in hell should a man ever speak to you that way. Unless you did, in fact, kill his dog. Which she did not do. So, yeah, it just was, Tim, I think that you are very angry. And while I feel for you, and I feel that the angry black man trope is such a nasty trope, but I feel it's accurate for you. And I feel that your anger is not with Alex. Your anger is deeper than this. You lack communication skills. And somebody who lacks communication skills has no business doing this experiment. This is a fast forward experiment. You have to do this in lightning speed. Okay? And if you don't have empathy, if you don't have understanding, if you don't have like just basic humanity to, okay, let me put myself in this person's shoes. Let me really take a moment to really listen to what they're saying. If you don't have those skills, this experiment is not for you, and neither is marriage. Tim, you don't need a wife right now. You need therapy. Black man, you need therapy. You need someone who's going to be able to show you how to communicate. And maybe that is going back in your childhood and uncovering what happened. Maybe you weren't allowed to communicate as a child. When I was watching, when you go back to the episode where Alex met Tim's parents, if you look at his mother and father, his father couldn't get a word in. Tim is his mother's child. His father couldn't get a word in. Remember, if you watched my review of that episode, I said, damn, Alex is his father, Tim is his mother. Couldn't get a word in. Couldn't get a word in. So maybe it's mommy issues. Maybe you have some deep-rooted mommy issues. But you do need therapy. You do need assistance with figuring out what's the best way for you to communicate. Because what you've been doing is not working. Okay? And then y'all owe Alex an apology. Y'all owe Alex an apology. There were so many think pieces about this girl. Yes, her house was disgusting. Yes, she's nonchalant. Yes, but she didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve to be spoken to the way this man spoke to her. And especially now when we are able to uncover that she was protecting this man when she covered his mouth. Y'all need to go to her comment section and say, I apologize. It's not too late to apologize. It ain't too late. Go apologize. Go apologize. This reunion was a letdown as usual. I think that Vanessa and Nick are horrible hosts who don't ask any real questions. It was very, very weird watching Nick get cooked more than 2 dreads and more than Brian McLight, who has 3 children, who he is not claiming. Very weird times. His 3 kids should have been in the front row. Period. During Black Women's Vote for Kamala Harris Black Women's Month. Them kids should have been in the front row. Period. Hannah. I mean, I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think Hannah had horrible delivery, but at least she was honest. I'm not surprised that Nick was fake, but it doesn't negate. I think for Hannah, it's like, you say you're self-aware, and I actually do think that you're self-aware, which makes you actually a diabolical person, a nasty person. Because the way you and Marissa dug into Nick like that, as if you weren't a total bitch, like you were a total bitch to that man, point blank period. And it just was something off-putting about watching Marissa help you gang up on Nick. And meanwhile, Marissa, you was just fucking 2 dreads. You were just slurping 2 dreads down. This man who gave you a hard no multiple times. He did it to you on camera. He did it to you months later after the breakup. You were still hunching him. Garrett and Taylor, rooting for y'all. I didn't like Garrett's constant, I need to move on. I'm looking forward to this ending. No, bitch, this is the fucking reunion. Lord Farquhar. Okay? I've been team you and Taylor now, but not too much. Lord Farquhar, this is a reunion, bitch. We going through all the reunion teams. Okay? All right? How you doing? And why you ain't moved to San Diego? Who else? There's nothing else to talk about. All right, y'all. Drop down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this video, and I will see y'all in the next one. Ta-ta!
Diamonds on my body and they crystal clear. I make magic with these hundreds, watch them disappear. Big ol' raindrops up in my ear. If you gon' name drop, let's get it clear. Jessie.